Molweni guys, ni right?
Is that right?
With the fifth child. He's called Benjamin. Benjamin Komoetie.
Whose child is this?
My child.
But that's a white child.
Ma?
I think we should take that child with us.
Will they take me away? Ma's not going to let go of you.
A new magistrate has been appointed. He wants to see the child.
If you hadn't have said anything, this whole thing would never have happened.
The child is white. He doesn't go to church. He lives like a...
FIELA Se Kind is a film adaptation of a classic Mzansi novel of the same name. In this video, I'm not going to compare the book and the film, and I'm also not going to be talking about the latest adaptation. I'm going to talk about the first one, which came out in 1988. A royal colored woman who finds a young abandoned white boy, takes him in and raises him as one of her own. FIELA names him Benjamin. Several years later, the government, who came to do a census, removed Benjamin from FIELA's care and returned him to his biological parents, Elias and Botha van Rooyen.
Hey, you're white. And you must learn to behave like a white man's child.
Now, don't you go meddling. It'll get worse for you.
For Benjamin Komoetie.
He was linked.
The government officials claimed that because the Komoeties weren't taking Benjamin to school, which was only available for them, he was living under catastrophic conditions. He was being abused. He was suffering. When they saw and heard Benjamin referring to FIELA as Ma, these men lost their shit. But we both know that this had more to do with race than the well-being of Benjamin. But niyabona ba okoko urhulumente emosha. Do you see that? Do you see that umntu omhlophe uyamosha? So there they are, they whisk Benjamin away to the Van Rooyens. The Van Rooyens were woodcutters, I think. They were a white family living in the forest and cutting wood. And they claimed that Benjamin was their long-lost son, Lucas.
To accept the harsh realities of his new life.
I just want to say, Lord, that I forgive the Van Rooyens all their sins.
As time passes, friendships are broken and partings are inevitable.
Side note, I refuse to refer to Benjamin by his slave name, Lucas. The drastic change to Benjamin's life was a traumatic one. It was a culture shock. Racially, Benjamin was white, but culturally, that was a colored man. That was a clear link, all the way down to his mannerisms and how he addressed white men. But what was worse was that Benjamin moved from a loving, warm, happy, clean home to an abusive and unhappy family where they were suffering in more ways than one. It was so obvious that the Komoeties were living much better than the Van Rooyens, who were dirty. And it was a fucking downgrade for Benjamin, if we're being honest. The Van Rooyens, the people who claimed Benjamin as their own, were filthy dogs. They were filthy dogs. They ate umpako wakhe. They ate his food his mother packed for him for the journey without asking or even sharing with him. They went into his bag and took his food and ate it as if it's their own.
You picked him out right away.
I found out when it was much too late, and I lied. He's not on.
The Van Rooyens were savages, and poverty does not equate to poor hygiene. They were savages in the way that they treated each other, in the way that they treated themselves, in the way that they dressed, in the fact that they didn't bathe and they looked like they stank, in how they treated their long-lost son. There was no warm welcome, there was no joy, there was no savages. I felt bad for Benjamin, I really did. And when he got a chance, his first chance to run, do you know what his sister does? Do you know what Nina does? She goes into his bag like a scavenger. That for me, in that moment, that was confirmation to me that Benjamin usekakeni. From parents to siblings, he was not going to find any peace. When Fiela realized that her son was kidnapped by the government, this woman walked for 2 days just to see him. And when she finally got to the Van Rooyens, these people blocked her from seeing her son. Not only did they block her, ne, umphako bemphathele uBenjamin wakhe, they ate it. They ate it. They ate umphako. They ate umphako womntana. These grown men, this grown man and woman, the Van Rooyens, ate umphako womntana. 12 years later, some morally questionable things happen with Benjamin, and his kidnapper finally decides to confess that Benjamin is not her son. She was told by the government to claim that Benjamin was her son Lucas. When he got this revelation, when Botha Van Rooyen finally confessed that she stole another woman's child, essentially, Benjamin got the courage, he got the energy, to confess his love to Nina and to claim himself as a Komoetie. In the end, FIELA Se Kind went home with his new bride to be a farmer, like his father.
You know what's wonderful about period pieces? They are like time machines. They have the power to transport viewers to a different time, whether it's 1874 in Dikop or 1789 in the Eastern Cape, in Ikyela ya Mawele. There are 4 main types of period pieces with multiple subgenres that often overlap. There are 4 main types: biopics, costume dramas, historical romances, and historical dramas. Costume dramas are types of period pieces where they feature elaborate costumes, sets, and props in order to create an ambience based on a specific time period. Historical romances are period dramas with a romantic relationship at the heart of the story. And historical dramas often feature very large battle scenes, and they tell tales of mythical, biblical, or royal figures. Historical dramas have an especially lofty scope, extraordinary settings, a large cast, and grand dramatic ambitions. Works may include references to real-life people or events from the relevant time period or contain factual, accurate representation of that time period. Works may also include mostly fictionalized narratives based on actual people or events. Accuracy is important when making period pieces, so research is important. It must be accurate to the time to create the idea that one is looking into a window at a different time. From food to music to the kind of flowers on the table in the back of the room, the impressiveness of a period drama lies in the details. Costume designers play the most important role in shaping these types of films. They are often responsible for showcasing styles distinct to both older and younger generations, as well as both the upper and lower classes. The costumes help tell a story and show a dedication to period accuracy and realism. Plus, costume may help us travel in time.
Look at you making it all the way to the end of my video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.